Ladies and gentlemen, there's going to be a movement happening on June 9th. Now, there's a website called Parents' Rights Day of Action. I'm going to link it below so you can access it. I just want to go over this really quickly and give you some information, especially if you don't have the time right now to go and check it out for yourself. So, it says your children are no longer safe in Canadian schools. This is because schools teach an unquestionable radical social justice doctrine while bureaucrats and boards censor concerned parents. I can tell you this is true. And, parents are just being disrespected and kicked out. And I'm sure you're hearing more and more of it. So it says, what can you do this June? First of all, keep your kids home from school on rainbow days. So June 1st, from what I've heard from parents and teachers, roughly 40 to 60% of the students stayed home, and trustees noticed and they're not happy about this, which is great. Send a message with your concerns. Contact your MPP and MLA, let your politician know. Join a support group. Consider homeschooling, learning pods, or alternate apolitical education. And let's see over here, a little bit more information. So, what is going on in schools right now? So they're keeping secrets about sex changes. It says, kids today are taught there is no such thing as biological sex and that children can choose to be a boy or a girl. This very indoctrination of gender pronouns in the classroom, which can start in kindergarten, opens up impressionable children who still view the world through a magical lens to the false belief that your sex change is a matter of choice. And this is a very big thing because, they're saying that you can be born in the wrong body. And how can you tell a kid that they're born in the wrong body? I mean, it is your body and you are what you are. And their remedy to this is to just start taking medication and just start physically altering your body and your genitals, which is obviously crazy, right? And that's abuse. And this is what's happening in our schools as well. They're bringing in third-party organizations as well to talk to the kids, to give them material handouts, push them all in this direction, right? A lifelong dependency on medication, therapy, and whatnot. It's a big business, this stuff. There's activist teachers in schools. Now, the schools spend about 30% of their days celebrating some sort of pride event, whether it's the whole month of June. You got Bisexual Visibility Day, you've got Pronouns Day, you've got all these crazy made-up days, right? 30%. Plus, if you have an activist teacher who's always talking about this stuff and is fully indoctrinated, your kids can be anywhere from 30% to 100% of the time exposed. Of course, they've got the books in the school libraries, which are very questionable, let's just say, with graphic descriptions and imagery. I've talked about this at length. And they've got state-sponsored intimidation. And these organizations, they're state-sponsored as well. They go in there. The school boards are state-sponsored as well. The trustees are supposed to represent the parents, but they're representing the activists and the state. So, June 9th in Ottawa, there's going to be a protest about this. And I'm going to put a little video right at the end, just with a little bit more information on what's happening. And if you feel like you need to speak out against this, it's a perfect time to send a message to the school, send a message to the Ministry of Education as well. Join a group of parents that is concerned. There's a lot of people, and we are slowly turning this ship around. Parents are having no more, and you gotta stop loving these kids a little too much, if you know what I mean. These schools with love is just getting out of hand. Anyways, please share this video, and I hope you liked it. Take care.
I'm talking about gender ideology. Now, gender ideology, as you may know, is a belief system that says that we have a gendered soul. That our gendered identity, our soul, can somehow have a different, like it was delivered to the wrong address when we were born. right? We might have a penis, but we really got a girl's soul instead. And because of that, schools need to affirm, because historically somehow these people have been so marginalized that they barely even existed. The school system indoctrinates children. It is indoctrination, it's affirmation turning to medicalization that leads to sterilization. And all along this pathway in schools, beginning in kindergarten and grade 1, when children are taught about gendered pronouns, and even if you're a boy, you're a biological male with a penis, your pronouns might be she, because you've got this gendered soul that was delivered to the wrong body, and that we need to intervene in schools and intervene in hospitals with toxic chemicals and vile surgeries that cut body parts off of children. And we need to keep that process secret from parents. Anyone who stands up against this gets destroyed. Today, a Supreme Court decision came down in the case of Barry Neufeld versus Glenn Hansman. Barry Neufeld is a courageous, loving man. Spent 30 years in youth corrections in British Columbia and saw every imaginable family dysfunction and atrocity. He understood and understands patterns of sexual abuse and how predators operate because he wrote sentencing recommendations. And he worked with people on parole, and he saw how these predators operate by breaking down the boundaries of safety that we teach children to protect themselves against predators. And he expressed a concern about SOGI, the curriculum imposed in British Columbia, in his capacity as a school trustee, to say, in my experience, this looks like a pattern of grooming, of breaking down those boundaries that protect children from sexual predators. It harms. It doesn't help. Affirming these kids doesn't help. Medicalizing them doesn't help. And sure as fuck, keeping it secret from parents doesn't help. My fellow Canadians, I lost my child to this despicable ideology. She was taught that I was unsafe for her. That she couldn't live with me because I might ask questions. That I might get her fucking pronouns wrong. This is happening to children and parents all across this country. And anyone who questions it gets attacked. You know what the only thing we can do now is? We can fucking stand up! June the 9th. Stand up across Canada to these atrocities. It is the only way we will stop this.